How did King Oumar's greatest idea for a show fail and disappointed his audience? This is how the Baddies house failed to deliver on its great concept and high production values it showed us on its trailer. The show promised to be the next great show on YouTube or on King Oumar's channel, but ended up being a huge disappointment. Many people were so excited when they first saw the first trailer of it, such as the likes of E.G. Sonwabile, Masamane, and many more. Let's first sort out the rumors. Many say King Oumar copied this concept from Sonwabile's Girls' Night. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but that is false. Sonwabile copied this idea from DJ Frost Girls 3, which DJ Frost also stole the idea from Zeus Baddies and just tweaked the idea. Zeus Baddies is also copied from Bad Girls Club. Bad Girls Club is also a spin-off of another show called The Real World. Since the rumors are cleared up, let's get into the nitty-gritties of the show and how it failed to deliver. King Oumar should have named this show something else, cause really, if we are being honest, this is not a Baddies house.
Oh my god, bro. Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
This show should have been called YouTuber's House instead of Baddies House. Argos Ruby, Zile Weezy, Bruce, Just 30G, and other gents. Baddies, Oumar, stop playing, bro. This show reminded me of another great show Tato Rampedi made called Are You Tubed In? Oumar should have leaned to that idea more. In some episodes, the Baddies are actually side characters and not the main characters. This is perfectly shown in episodes, namely episode 3, episode 7, and episode 9. Episode 3, the whole episode is about Telik and Bruce trying to raise up these Baddies in different dates. Episode 7 is all about Joseph Dayar as he also seeks for love and raise up these Baddies. Episode 9 is all about dating and has nothing to do with the Baddies, as we see a tag team of King Oumar and Just 30G go on different dates with the Baddies. I am just asking myself, what was the point of these episodes, because they don't showcase the Baddies, the people we are actually here to see.
That's another thing about the show that didn't make sense. Like we went on dates with the homeboys, like we're doing dates and all those type of things, so it didn't really fit into Baddies' house. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we're doing blind.
Was it fun?
Also, I did not understand Sia's inclusion, as she did nothing and was just there for the sake of being there. Is Sima also a baddie? Some episodes are just a waste of time, as it shows us that Oumar really did not know what to do with the show as a whole and just wanted to do this show as it will give him views. As soon as he included people who are not Baddies, it lost its relevance. The sound on this show is horrible, absolutely unbearable to listen to. The sound is so inconsistent. In some parts, it's too loud. In other parts, it's too low that you can't even hear anything. In some random parts, it's actually not there. There is absolutely silence. Another problem is the subtitles. In some episodes, the subtitles are not there to help us understand what the people are saying on the show. Since the sound is poor, the subtitles guy is too lazy. Sometimes I find myself laughing at the mistakes I see the subtitles guy do. Another thing is that King Oumar keeps on lying to the viewers. At the end of the video, it shows us what will happen in the next episode, but that exact scene is never shown in the next episode. For example, in episode 6, it shows Munaka fighting with Nas, but in the next episode, which is episode 7, we do not see that fight. In episode 4, we are shown Sima fighting with Lolita. That fight is not shown on episode 5. There are many instances of this. Another problem is the directing in the show is shit. What do I mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
For example, Nas was eliminated on episode 4, but she is there in episode 5. Episode 6, she is not shown, but she finally leaves in episode 7. To me, it seems like episode 5 was shot before episode 4. King Oumar rushed episode 4, which was actually supposed to be episode 5. It had drama and he wanted the views. Another problem is that I feel like there's a lot of spicy moments that are not actually recorded or caught on camera that leaves you as a viewer feeling lost and not actually knowing what is going on. For example, the whole Nas and Munaka dragging drama. As viewers, we were so lost as to what happened because King Oumar and his team did not want to speak about the situation. Another issue is the Elizabeth, Tato and the chef drama. We were so lost there on that issue. Also the Nas and Pali drama, we did not have a clue about that one. What was really the issue between the two? I feel like this show lacked character development for the baddies. Some of the baddies, we did not get the opportunity to get to know them better. They were overshadowed by people who had nothing to do with the show, such as the likes of Sima, Zile Weezy and many more. Also, the show is filled with unnecessary scenes that are way too long and annoying and make you wanna click off the show and watch something else. A perfect example of this is episode 4, where we witnessed Lolita yapping for 1 hour straight. I don't blame her. The bullying she received on that episode was too much. I feel like most of the time the episode was going around in circles. I feel like the episode was going to be fine as a 30 or 25 minutes episode. It did not have to be 1 hour. All the episodes on the show have these unnecessary scenes which do not have value. They are just there to bore you. Oumar added them there for that sweet long duration monetization. The longer the video, the more money he makes. The show in most parts feels slow paced. I think it takes a long time to get to the juicy parts. Now let's talk about King Oumar, the leader on this show. King Oumar failed. He is the boss of the show. He should put authority to everyone to follow the rules and fix issues between the cast and everyone. First of all, in episode 6, Ghost is busy with his phone. It does not get taken away. There's also a part where everyone is supposed to be quiet, but Sima keeps on talking and Oumar does not warn her or do anything to her to keep quiet. In episode 7, Nas has to leave the house. King Oumar is afraid to tell her to leave.
I already said no, she has to leave.
Yeah, but you don't understand.
You should be scared of the hand. Not about me being scared of her. I'm just saying that I feel like
it has to take the girls to tell Nas to leave the house. As a person who is supposed to make sure everyone follows the rules, King Oumar is too relaxed. I want to talk about the scripted content on the show. There are a few scripted moments. The perfect example is episode 2. The fight between Elizabeth and Tato was fake. They were told to fight for the views of the show. Elizabeth said it herself on Sonabrile's stream.
First fight I'll say was they told us to fight. You know me, I never lied. You can switch this thing on again. You guys can switch this thing. I never tell a lie. Whenever I ever told a lie.
was you and Tato's fight real?
No.
The fight is straight copied from Dishay Frost Girls Trip.
What the? I just feel like.
But guys, if we are being honest, Elizabeth would not be able to handle Tato in a fight. Unfortunately, Tato is a ghetto chick from Sosha. She has been in many fights and is experienced in that area. Elizabeth is a suburbs girl and has little experience in fighting. To show the fight is scripted, as soon as Tato stood up, she was supposed to hit Elizabeth. That did not happen. She hesitated too much, indicating is definitely scripted. Elizabeth also highlighted this on Sonabile's stream, but
I won't even lie. Like, you see the hands? These hands look like they're about that action. I wouldn't be on the show because I'm a suburban girl, okay? I'm from the suburbs.
What are you trying to say?
I'm from the suburbs.
What are you trying to say?
Okay? I went to private school. My ass took French. Let's be real. That hand is Spitori, bro. Tato's Spitori. Did you see the... She has tattoos here, bro. Like... I'm not about that, like...
Yo! You just exposed yourself.
Yo! Most of the content is not scripted. I don't understand why Oumar had to script fights. Girls are dramatic. They would have given you drama without you telling them to. Another boring aspect of the show is the boring games that are played in the show. They are not exciting at all, not fun for the viewer to watch. Scenes outside the house would be much appreciated more. I know they are there, but there are not too many of them. I would like to be in the show. I know it seems like I am a hater and just bashing the show. Let me name the positives from the show. The show has high production values. The picture quality and visuals are impressive and they light up the show. The house, it's impressive and vibrant. The outside of the house is also impressive and shines. The baddies are actually baddies and are super beautiful and fun to watch with some interesting personalities to look out for. The show has some very interesting drama to keep you cultivated and be interested in continuing watching the show. Throughout, it shows that it has a big budget with better care and attention. It can become the best show on YouTube and compete with the reality shows we see on TV. That can happen only if the owner is not lazy. Now I am going to rate the Baddies' performances on the house. Who entertained us the most? Number one, Elizabeth was the star of the show. She really understood the assignment of the show. What really takes to be a baddie. In most situations, she stood on business, having no filter, and said things as they are. She was the mean girl we truly wanted on the show. I love me some good villain in every story or show. Her diary sessions were so spicy and had juice in them. Her rivalry with Tat was so entertaining. Their beef and fights were so fun to watch. Besides being a villain and a mean girl, she showed that she had a good heart when she defended Lolita against the bullying of the other girls in the house. She is what she thinks she is. I give her a 10 out of 10 for her performance in the house. She really entertained us. Tato, she was herself and was the most truthful among the baddies. Her truthfulness landed her in a huge beef and rivalry with Elizabeth, where Elizabeth called her a bitch for sleeping with two best friends. She is a hothead and does not hesitate to react to a fight when provoked. And you know she is from the hood. Sasha, to be specific, so she's not afraid to throw them hands. She was very entertaining to watch. She had another beef with Jay Amora where she exposed her for being a snake and someone who pretends to be good, but she is not good. I also give her a 10 out of 10. She was entertaining and added the needed drama. Sasa, I don't really know what to say about this girl. She provided zero entertainment to the house. She was there just for the sake of being there. She had no storyline besides being Tato's minion and puppet. It looked like she has no personality besides being Tato's friend. Whatever Tato says, she agrees. She had zero character development. She was terrible. I give her a 1 out of 10. She did not add value to the show. Nazira, aka Nice, was probably the most intimidating baddie in the entire house. In the first episode, she looked like a nice girl who is quiet, but we would realize that was not true. She is a mean girl and a huge villain, and of course, I would absolutely love her. She is rude, mean, loud, and says things without thinking them through. She is unapologetic and refuses to admit when she is wrong. Like the time she dragged Munaka. What can I say? She is the big bad wolf. She had a problem with everyone in the house except her fellow friend and mean girl Elizabeth. Her biggest beef was with Bali, which we did not get to see much of. Her beef with Munaka was also hectic. I give her a 10 out of 10. She provided the show with content. Lolita, nah, this girl is brave. She can really defend herself without any fear. Imagine taking on 6 people at a time. I like her. She speaks out her mind and calls out hypocritical people. But yo, she can really yap non-stop. That is perfectly shown on episode 4, where she was targeted by all the girls in the house to be eliminated. The bullying she received on the show was really upsetting, but I like how she defended herself with everything she's got from bullies such as Sima. I like to say her voice is annoying, especially if you hear it a lot in an episode, but her bubbly personality covers her annoying voice. I was so upset when she was voted off in episode 7. I give her a 10 out of 10. Also, she is a true entertainer. Zenith, I don't know what to say about this girl besides being Sasa 2.0. She was Elizabeth's puppet and minion. She's Elizabeth's friend. Of course, she would agree with whatever Elizabeth say, even when she's wrong. On the show, she had no storyline besides being Elizabeth's yes girl, agreeing to everything. I give her a 1 out of 10. Also, she contributed nothing to the show. She was just there. Munaka. Throughout the show, she was a shadow, but she showed some good entertainment with her beef with Nazira, aka Naz. Naz dragged her. It was not shown on camera. In episode 7, she showed her ruthless side when she organized a squad of people to kick out Naz outside the house. He eventually did that, which increased the beef further, with Naz coming furious in the reunion episode, insulting Munaka left and right. Munaka had no energy to fight her, so she let her win. I give her a 7 out of 10. She provided some content. Jay Amora, she was the good girl from the show on camera. She did not show much, but behind the camera seems like she was super shady and not what she was portraying on the show. The good girl act was exposed by Tato on the reunion. The two went in on each other, but I think Tato actually won that fight. She showed us a side to Jay Amora we didn't know. Overall, I give Jay Amora a 4 out of 10. She provided content at the end of the show. Pali, I think this girl provided some good content. It's just a shame she arrived late to the show. More or less, I think she is like Nazira. I think they have the same personalities. That's why they clashed a lot in the house. Unlike Naz, I think that Pali is much more smarter and thinks through the things she says. She had an alteration with Naz, which was not shown on camera. Pali was the only one that went pound for pound with Naz in the reunion special, addressing the many things she dislikes about Naz. I rate her 8 out of 10. I feel like she would have been a 10 if she arrived in the show much earlier. Lisedi, I think she would have provided much content, unlike Sasa and Zenith. If she arrived sooner, maybe the show would have had a spark. So I am not rating her. Episode 1 was cool. The outside scene introducing the girls was epic. Quality was nah. The sound was proper. I don't know what happened. Once those scenes passed, they got inside the house. The sound became horrible. I think the games they were playing were okay. This episode was saved by Elizabeth, Sosie, and funny commentary. I don't know why, but I felt like the episode was too long and should have been cut a bit. The fight between Elizabeth and Tato was nice. I give the episode a 7 out of 10. It was solid and a great start. Episode 2, I think, had a great start, continuing where episode 1 left off with the Elizabeth and Tato fight. The fight was cool and fun. After the fight ended on 15-17 timestamp, the episode slowed down a bit and there was some character development from the Baddies. There were unnecessary back and forth between the girls, but this was a great episode. I also like that it's shorter. I give it a 9 out of 10. Episode 3, this was my favorite episode. This episode was super awesome. Although this episode is the one that lost the plot of the show and moved away from the Baddies and introduced people who ain't Baddies. Damn, but this episode was super cool. Telik and Bruce are such a dynamic duo. Super funny. I laughed a lot watching them fumbling these berries with their reeds. They made the episode awesome. Let me not forget Zile Wheezy. Bro was super funny and made me laugh a lot. Just Teddy G also did his thing. He was so smooth. The lighting was great throughout the episode. The sound also did not disappoint that much. The episode is such a vibe, man. I give it a 10 out of 10. A standout episode in the show. Episode 4, I think this was another great episode, but it was just too long. I feel like Omar should have cut some other parts because the baddies kept on going back and forth. The things they were arguing about, they kept recycling and repeating them. This was a Lolita yep fest. That girl can yep. Damn, I don't blame her. They started her. The bullying they did to her was disgusting and annoying. She provided some funny comebacks. The sound was okay, picture quality okay. I rate the episode 8 out of 10. It was great but too long. Episode 5. This episode is where the show started going downhill. This episode was boring then. Everything was just wrong with this episode. The sound was horrible. I thought my ear was going to explode. While watching this, the sound had no balance at all. In some parts, super low, and in other parts, super loud. The games they were playing were super boring. They had no value of entertainment. Some people were not participating in the episode, such as Goslubi and Sia. What are you guys there if you ain't gonna participate? I just don't understand. The episode was saved by Bruce and Telly. I give this episode a 4 out of 10. It's boring. Episode 7. This episode had a great start with the girls forming a squad to kick out Nez, led by Monaka. Monaka actually added some great content, telling Omar to kick out Nez. They eventually did that and ended up kicking out Nez. The girls vs Nez was great content. Once Nez left the show, it became boring and had unnecessary scenes. I was not ready for another dating episode since we had one in episode 3. Joseph Diary was actually not super funny in this episode. He was serious, so he disappointed me. In all honesty, this was a lackluster episode. It lacked so much. I give it a 6 out of 10. Episode 6, this was another boring episode that lacked substance. I even slept while the episode was playing. The games were boring and the episode was just too long. It should have been cut a little and be a bit shorter. The episode had unnecessary boring scenes. This episode was just about Sima. The girl was rude, and also that she was under the influence did not help much. I found it strange that everyone in that show did not see her rudeness. The episode was off. The sound was off in this episode. Also, no subtitles. I got angry seeing Sima bullying Lolita and no one said anything. The picture quality was also bad in this episode as there was a minute of black screen.
No, not like that.
But I didn't say that.
Not my back just got so when you look at me. Oh my, that sounds very sexual.
You can
You can suck his ass.
Guys, keep it quiet, everyone be quiet.
You see everyone whispering like in the Queen's
He
house.
got it, I'm shy. Quiet on set.
Zachary, bro. Don't you
Nah, nigga, you looking there.
Guys, can we all calm down? When everyone was whispering, everyone was quiet. Now I don't know where the excitement came from.
It came from her. Because she's like, doesn't want to whisper.
My sister whisper like proper
I just wanna ask.
Okay, guys, just let her finish.
Literally.
Yeah, sure. Perfect. Even better.
How long did it take for you guys to realize that I understand everything you say about me?
No, we all understand that.
Honestly, I woke up and got interested in this episode again when Sima and Lolita started fighting. That is what saved this episode. The camera focus was also off. How is Lolita speaking and the camera shows us Sima? I give this episode a 5 out of 10. Mediocre episode. Episode 8, this was another boring episode. Damn, the two-man duo of Oumar and Just Steady G did not work well. The dates were so awkward. Just Steady G tried to make the episode fun, but it was not just working out. And Oumar, that nigga made me laugh. He has absolutely zero reason. Telik and Bruce are so much better than him.
An opportunity to like, let me say,
The episode was just so random and boring. Tato tried to make it entertaining, but it failed. Damn, this episode was so long that it made me want to sleep. Also filled with unnecessary scenes. I give this episode a 3 out of 10. Absolutely terrible. Episode 9. This episode was a great return to form of it actually being a Baddies show. It was all about the Baddies. The fights were awesome. The Elizabeth Vestato and the chef fight was top tier, although we did not see it on camera. What is weird is that why was the Elizabeth Vesely fight not shown? It was also fun seeing Nolita back on the show. She added the needed spark back to the show. She may be annoying with her voice, but she provides us with the content we need. I give this episode a 9 out of 10. It's a return to form. Reunion episode 1. The episode was great as every issue that happened in the house was covered. Kaya did justice to the reunion as she was a great host. Damn, the audio sound was horrible. Damn, my ears became deaf while listening to the episode. But let me say this. The setup was great. Also, the picture quality was great. Bali had no filter. She exposed the girls for being weird. The Tato vs. J. Amora fight came out of nowhere. I give this episode a 7 out of 10. Reunion episode 2. I think this episode was fire as we saw Bali and Nas going in at each other with no one backing down from the fight until Kaya intervened. The sound was horrible. Damn, Nas has a loud mouth. She obliterated my ears. My eardrums erupted.
You're right or not? You're 30 years old, babe. Sorry.
Alright, let's
How
move
old
on.
am I? I'm
Let's
20
move
years
on.
old. I'm 10 years younger than you. Don't come at me like that because I'm gonna address you.
Like no one's even like
The Nas vs Munaka fight was also fire, but Nas was not allowing her to talk. The J. Amora vs Kaya fight was a surprise for me. Tato vs J. Amora was a surprise. Again, overall a solid reunion. I rate it a 7 out of 10. Very solid. J. Amora was getting a lot of heat in his episode as she fought with Lolita also. Overall, I give the series a 5 out of 10. It had its great moments, high budget, great visuals, great characters, good drama, and content. It also had its bad moments like bad sound, poor planning, slow pacing, scripted content, unnecessary scenes. Oumar really had a great plan and concept, but he just failed to execute properly what he had planned in the show. I think next season King Oumar should buy new equipment and improve the sound. It's absolutely terrible to listen to. Next season we don't want niggas in the show.
That's one thing. So it's gonna be less niggas and more honeys. Less niggas. We are tired of the niggalations. You go in the club, there's more niggas. You go anywhere, there is niggas. Every day, there is niggas. Where are they? I'm losing my mind.
We just want the Baddies only, no other boring influencers. Also, improve on the subtitles. Balance the way you introduce the Baddies. Have better pacing. Cut out unnecessary scenes that don't progress the story. Next season, bring back Elizabeth, Tato, Nas, Bali, Nolita, and Munaka. Remove Sasa and Zenith. They provided zero entertainment besides being puppets. J. Amora, that one is a tricky one. You can remove her or she can stay. Everything will be alright. The games that are played on this show should be improved also. They are boring. Next season, Oumar, try to do fun activities, e.g. beauty contest, sports day, cooking challenge, outdoor activities, and more. Thank you guys for watching this long ass video. See you guys on the next video. Peace. I am out.